Hi TK, this is Miss Loffer from Ridgemore. Today we're going to be learning about bees. Bees make honey. Many different types of bees work together to build a hive. This is where they live. Bees are built for collecting honey. Every bee has a special stomach, a hollow tongue, and a stinger. Special bees, called forager bees, collect pollen and nectar from flowers and bring it to the hive. House bees turn the pollen and nectar into honey. Worker bees also help build the insides of the hive. Worker bees work hard. They collect nectar, they turn nectar into honey, they build the hives, they take care of the eggs, they take care of the baby bees, they feed the queen, and they protect the hive. Bees dance to communicate. Drones help the queen make eggs. The queen can lay up to 1,500 eggs a day. Bees all work together, and they work hard to make honey for themselves.
Hey everyone, Squeaks and I are enjoying a beautiful day outside the fort. Oh look, there's a bee. Oh, it landed on that flower. Let's watch and see what it does. We'll get a little closer, but not bother it. There it goes, buzzing off to find another flower. You know, bees are some of my favorite animals to watch. They always seem so busy. But do you ever wonder what they do all day? You might already know that bees are insects, like ants and beetles. Like all insects, bees have 6 legs and 3 body parts. In bees, these body parts are often brown or yellow, and sometimes they're striped with both colors. Bees also have 4 wings. When their wings move back and forth fast enough to make them fly, they make a buzzing sound that we think of when we hear the word bee. And there's another part of the bee that you've probably heard about: the stinger. But not all bees have stingers, and the ones that do don't sting unless they have a really good reason to, like when they're frightened, or to protect themselves, or to chase other animals away from their nest. There are lots of different kinds of bees, but the 2 kinds that you've probably seen most often are bumblebees and honeybees. Bumblebees are easy to spot because they're big and fluffy. Honeybees are a little smaller and don't look like they're covered in fuzz the way bumblebees do. Both kinds of bees make honey, but bumblebees only make a little, while honeybees produce a lot of that sweet, sticky stuff. And both kinds of bees also live in big groups, inside nests that we call hives. Do you want to see inside a honeybee hive? Let's have a look. This bee is the queen. No, she doesn't wear a crown, but she does have a really important job. She stays in the hive all day and lays eggs. Lots of them. After 3 or 4 days, these eggs will hatch and eventually grow into adult honeybees. Most of the other bees that live in the hive are workers. And worker bees? Yep, Squeaks, they do almost all the work. There are lots of jobs for them to do, like helping to build the hive and keeping the hive clean. But their main job, the one that they do almost all of the time, is to look for food. That's what the bee that we saw was doing. She was getting food from that flower. When a worker bee lands on a flower, she drinks a sweet juice from the inside of the flower. This juice is called nectar. While she's on the flower, the bee also brushes up against the yellow dust that the flower makes. This dust is called pollen. So while she's gathering nectar, the bee also gets covered with pollen as she moves around on the flower. When the bee has as much nectar and pollen as she can carry, she flies back to the hive. She feeds some of the nectar and pollen to the baby bees and to the queen, and then she turns most of the nectar into honey. Bees fly back and forth all day collecting nectar and pollen from flowers and taking it back to the hive. When it gets dark, they go back to the hive and rest, and then they're up early the next morning to start again. If you've ever heard the expression, busy as a bee, now you know why we say that. So if you see a bee, you don't have to be afraid of it, but do leave her alone and give her lots of room to get her work done. And that work includes more than making honey. It has something to do with pollen. Next time, we'll see why when you bite into a delicious apple, you should thank a bee. Thanks for joining us on SciShow Kids. Do you have a question about insects or flowers or anything else? If so, get help from a grown-up and let us know. You can leave us a comment below or send us an email to kids@thescishow.com. And we'll see you next time here at the fort.
brainstorm on everything that we've learned about bees. Bees make honey. The queen can lay 1,500 eggs a day. Bees live in a hive. And bees dance to communicate. Okay, now you're going to need to get a piece of paper for writing, a pencil, and some crayons to color with. You've learned all about bees. Let's go ahead and write a simple sentence about bees. So we're going to write, bees live in hives and make honey. We're going to always start with a capital B. Bees. Make sure you have a space. Live. L. I. V. And then the silent E. Space. In. What sounds do you hear when you say in? I. N. All right, and then we're gonna write hives, but I don't have enough at the end of this line, so I'm gonna jump down to the bottom. Hives. I. V's. Space. And. That's one of our easy words. And. And. Space. Make. What do you hear when you hear make? A. K. And it has that silent E. Honey. Knee. And what do we always end our sentence with? Some kind of punctuation, but this one is going to be ending in a period. Let's go ahead and read our sentence together. Bees live in hives and make honey. Awesome job, TK. Now you can go ahead and watch the instructional video on how to draw a bee at the top of your page. Don't forget to send it off to your
TK, I hope
teacher.
you had
a lot of fun learning about bees. Now let's go ahead and draw a bee. Your first step is you're going to draw a circle towards the top of the page, and this is going to be for the bee's head. All right, step number 2, you're going to go ahead and do an oval shape underneath the head for the bee's body. Step 3 is you're going to make the bee's stripe on the body and give it the face. So you're going to do curved lines for his stripes, however many as you want. And then let's give him a happy face. So 2 eyeballs and a smiley face. I always like to give him little cheeks. All right, step number 4, you're going to give it its 2 wings. You start by the head and the body, come up and out, and kind of go to the middle. And do that for the same size. Step number 5, you're going to do the bottom wings to make them a little bit smaller. And then the last step, number 6, you're going to go and give it the stinger at the bottom, make a V, and then the 2 antennas. You're going to do 1 line out and a circle for the top, another line out, and the other circle for the antenna. Don't forget to color your bumblebee. And then send off to your teacher. TK, you've been doing such an amazing job. Keep up the good work.